Good evening and welcome to the September edition of Your Questions Answered. I'm Michael, KB9VBR.
And I'm Joe, KD9CJX. Good evening. I'm
Good
back.
evening. Yes, we
You know,
always look forward to you gracing our presence, and it's good to.
that's what you call it. Okay. Gracing your presence.
You're all rested and refreshed after taking the
I,
month off, now aren't you?
I don't know about that. I was in Ann Arbor, Michigan for a conference. So obviously I was not here. I don't even think I could have done it from over there. We're just too busy on Thursday night. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad the temperatures have finally dropped here in Wisconsin.
Oh my
Funny note.
God.
So a couple months ago, me and a friend decided he agreed to help side my house. I said, well, let's do a Labor Day weekend. We got a 3-day weekend, and it should be cooled off by then.
That's always a
Hottest
safe
weekend
bet.
of the year. Hottest
Oh,
weekend of the year.
it was it Sunday? It was 96 degrees.
Yes.
And you couldn't escape it anywhere in the state. We were up north near Duluth, Superior, and it was 94, I think it was. And
right.
yeah,
Just off the lake. It was 94
just off the lake. But yeah, because the wind was blowing the other direction, so we were just getting the heat off the state. So it was.
That's terrible.
It was terrible. But the cold front ran through yesterday, and today I don't think it cracked 64 degrees. So.
No, I actually wore a fleece to work today. I could have wore shirts and a tank top the day before. It was awful. It was awful.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that finally, the forecast is looking that it should finally settle, at least in our part of the country. You guys down south, I'm sorry, it's going to be a while.
Yep. So, absolutely. So, yeah, but if you got questions, we got the answers. So drop them into the chat, and we'll get to as many as we can. I see people are starting to fill in here. So, let's see some good evening to our buddy Don.
Hey, Don.
So he's been here a few times, and
across the river, not the Wisconsin River, the Mississippi.
The other river, the big river, Old Man River. So.
Old Man River.
Good evening from Las Vegas, or Lost Wages.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, it's
lost in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Scott from Maine.
Tariq, good evening.
Good evening. And then Bob, thank you for the super chat. Need a Marine Tune J-Pole. Who should I call?
Ghostbuster. Call Michael.
Yeah, call, in fact, I got the website up here. If we've got them, or I should say, I've got the Marine one. If I just scroll down here. And there we go. I have a Marine Band J-pole antenna and also the Slim Jim version. So it's get to the website and you'll find it there. So
perfect.
All right. Yeah. Well, the St. Croix. Hey, the St. Croix River still. That's pretty. That's still pretty cool.
Yeah, stay on that side. Minnesotans.
Eddie from Wales. Oh, across the pond. So good evening.
GW6. So. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. So.
Or to you, good morning, sir.
Good morning. It's like
midnight. Yeah, 1 o'clock. No, it's going to be 1 or 2 o'clock now.
It's 5 hours. We just turned over new UTC days, so I don't know if Wales is still today or if it's tomorrow yet over there. So it's not sure where they are line up with GMT, but you know what I mean. So yeah. And follow up, Bob makes a Slim Jim for the Marine frequencies. I do. You'll find both of them on that. You'll find both of them on that page there. So you'll be good to go.
Especially if you're going over large open bodies of water, would a Slim Jim be better with a lower takeoff angle?
It would be. We've done it both ways. For maritime use, and both of them, work, I think equally well. There's really no obstructions, if you're at the shore and pointing out over the lake or the ocean, so you can.
Unless Godzilla.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. Got a few questions rolling in, so we'll start cracking a few of those. Actually, I saw one here I wanted to kind of grab. Patrick asked, this is a really good question. I've had this come by me before. Can you phase more than one J-pole antenna together? And yes, you can, if you've got an appropriate harness. And I don't make the harnesses. I found some plans online though, where you can find the plans to make the harnesses. But basically, what you'll need is a splitter, some 75 ohm coaxial cable, and it has to be for some reason it has to be the 75 ohm. And the cable has to be, cut precisely, because you don't want to have any phase deviation. And then those can be the two antennas can be connected, and you can phase them vertically or you can phase them horizontally, and then go down from there. And I don't know if I search online if I can find plans or not.
So when you phase them, man, I sound kind of like I had like a big chunk of chew in my mouth there for a second. When you phase them, do the Mike Tyson, I faith my antennas. So when you phase two J-poles, does that become more directional?
It can. If they're all, if you do two, I think they will have more directivity, if you put them on a tower in that direction that they're pointed. If you put, say, one on one tower side and then the other on the other tower side, then you'll get more omnidirectional pattern. That's my basic understanding of how antenna phasing works.
Okay, because I'm always familiar with vertical antennas phasing, like in a AM broadcast, or you have an antenna farm for AM broadcast. They do phasing with different antennas to create a more of a directional pattern.
Yep.
So that's, again, a little bit beyond what I understand, but anyways, yeah. I mean, at most you get 3 dB a gain because you double the antenna, right?
Yes, you will. You two antennas phased together, you'll usually get about, I think it's about 5 or 6 dB. If you can phase two together, you'll get about 9 or 10 dB of gain, if I remember correctly. So, and it can. This is one sample. I just Googled 2 meter antenna phasing harness plans, and I got a whole string of hits there. So there's a few. Maybe we'll have to make one someday. But that's a common, and I'm just going to get my mouse here. That's a common, just a splitter, UHF connectors on 3 sides. And then this is a length of 75 ohm cable, and this is a length of 75 ohm cable, and this is your feeder, which would be 50 ohms. So
with 75 with UHF connectors on them. Okay.
Correct. So,
but you could, if you were crafty, just use 75 ohm TV coax.
You could.
Maybe you should offer a J-pole with F connectors.
I sell adapters.
Well, that's true. You got the adapters too.
You can go with the adapters.
Yeah. So be watching soon for more phased antennas at jpoleantenna.com.
See if I can get my mouse back here. So
there you go.
Hopefully that gets you on the right track with phasing antennas, building it. Yeah, maybe that might be a winter project. I'll make a note. We'll see if we can build one, have a video where I build one of those harnesses, and we'll see what happens.
Right.
So,
Would have been nice a couple weeks ago with all the heat and everything. The Tropo was insane.
it was, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
there was ducting from Wisconsin down to Texas and all over the Midwest. So yeah, that would have been nice to have. So if you're a VHF connoisseur, those are your good days right there.
Yeah, I know when the band was open, our local repeater had its evening swap net, and they were having check-ins 300 miles away. So
Oh yeah, that's pretty common when those usually late summer, early fall openings. That was a time, I think I've talked about this before. And here in central Wisconsin, we had a check-in on a 2-meter net from Nebraska.
oh wow, well that's even further. So.
Yeah, it was weird because we started getting the contacts, Minnesota, Twin Cities area, then like northern Minnesota, like Brainerd, and then there was one in Iowa, and then towards the end, some guy from Nebraska checked in. I'm like, holy smokes!
Wow, that is great.
Yeah, it was really cool. Probably the only time I actually logged a contact on 2 meters repeater. Write that one at the log. It counts.
Oh geez. Oh well, the knowledge can begin because 45 is here. So
Wonderful! I am
always
ready
great.
I am ready to receive.
Tariq wants to know, how often do y'all fox hunt? And we got to do another fox hunt. It's been over a year since our last fox hunt.
Probably almost 2 years. We did a whole bunch during COVID, and then I don't think we've done one in the past year or two.
Because it was a nice outdoor activity. Then we all got busy, and just haven't had a chance to get one. I don't even know whose turn it is, who found the last fox, because typically the person that found the last fox has got to hide the next one. So.
Right. That means, where is the fox? Uh-oh.
We might have to have a fox hunt to find the fox.
Yeah, because we better talk to the person who owns the fox and make sure he's not mad at me for losing. No, I think I took it back to him last time. I think I took it back to Mark the last time. So a good friend of ours has 2 foxes, and I think I took him back because we didn't know where it was. And then Michael said, "Oh, it's in my basement."
It was in my basement for like 6 months or a year or something since the last hunt. So,
right, it was getting kind of moldy down there. I hope you fed and watered it.
No, there's nothing. It doesn't get mold. I run that dehumidifier 24/7. So, so that's the last thing that happens. So
even in the winter, he runs it 24/7.
Well, I might turn it off then.
There you go.
Kevin wants to know if I've been doing any CW. Have you seen that video from last week? We did a little bit. Yeah, Dave and I did a little bit when we had our activation out at Lake Wissota State Park in the western part of the state. I have not had a chance to do any since then, unfortunately, because.
Were you using a decoder on that? I forget. Or were you doing it by ear?
I had a decoder. Okay. I could catch some of it by ear, but I also had FL Digi running in the background so that I knew what was going on.
Okay.
Well, once you start listening, because everything is so, I don't want to say standardized, or it's all of the exchanges is pretty well set. So once you hear them a few times, you can start to really. You hear that rhythm, and you can pick that stuff out, and so it's the decoder, it becomes less and less critical. So
right, you're not rag chewing, so it gets to be pretty not as difficult. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. But
as Don says, formulaic.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of.
It's French. French term for you DX fans. Formula.
Yeah. Got a few more people in the house. Chuck says it's blazing temps here in North Carolina. We had our
temps.
Yeah, we had our hot weather over the weekend. Look, I'm wearing sleeves now, so it's we're in the 60s. It's nice here in
I got my flannel jammies on tonight, boys. I'm going to open up the window, upper 40s for the temps. That'll be perfect. Maybe even a fan in the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin wants to work me, so I'll get it on the air, and the next 2 weekends I'm going to be out. We got a couple camping events going on. I think I don't know what I'm going to be doing in a park wise though, because we're not camping in parks these next 2 weekends. But
Not camping in parks.
well, I have to tell you about this. So this weekend we're going down to Jefferson for the annual Sheep and Wool Festival.
Oh, do me a favor, because my wife is going to be down there. Stop her from buying anything.
Well, we're camping on the fairgrounds, so it's
Okay.
It's going to be it's going to be bad on the checkbook, I think.
Well, so what you're saying is you might be getting a new radio for Christmas?
Possibly.
There we go.
So, and then the following weekend, I'm going to be out. Kenny out in Chippewa Falls. I forget his call sign. AA0 something something. He does an outdoor or a boondock get together on some land he's got, and he invites a bunch of hams and other people, and there's music and metal detecting and other things going on, and so it's shenanigans. So,
not quite wild Wisconsin, but shenanigans.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll have to find that link, and then we can, if anybody else is interested, because I think he opens it up to just about the whole ham community.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Unfortunately, I'll be saying "ta-ta losers," and I'll be Victor Echo 3 in another week.
Hey, that's right. You're going to the Great White North.
I'm going to the Great White North. I'm going to be in Ontario, Canada for a week, and I am going to bring the radio up. There's a number of provincial parks up there, so I figured might as well do some parks on the air up there.
There you go.
So be listening for me. I'll be is it Victor Echo 3 / KD9 CGX, or is it KD9 CGX slant Victor Echo 3?
Yeah, you just append the Victor Echo 3 at the end of your call sign.
Okay. All right. Well, either way, I'll be operating up there. So that'll be my third country that I've operated in, and I don't know if I get a pin for that, but Joe the Canuck.
Joe the Canuck.
Next thing you know, I'll come back. I'll be saying, "What's it all about?" And I'll be playing hooky.
There we go. We'll make you some poutine for at the camp out.
Poutine. There we go.
Oh, so Don said a cool thought. Yep. Yeah. Kevin says metal detector shenanigans, so it should be fun.
Where'd that quarter go?
Oh, Scott says, I'm hearing Full Circle trading and their magic carpet screens for Faraday blankets. Supposed to work well and more portable. I saw somebody mention a Faraday blanket. I'm not really familiar with what those are.
Well, isn't the magic carpet a Faraday blanket too?
I suppose it could be.
Okay, whoever posted that there, give us a link or something on that, Scott. I want to see what a Faraday blanket is, because I've been in a Faraday cage in a RF shop. There's actually, they can actually have a room, right, that is sealed around with it's like brass or mesh, and so that keeps all signals from outside the workbench area, and then they can do some more technical work on a radio. I've seen that a few times, but I mean, it's still pretty much the same stuff you're using in a screen door. So I don't know. Tell me what this is.
Is it something like this? Holy smokes! It's I found.
Oh, not these idiots! No. No. Are these the grounded blankets?
I think so. I don't know if it's the same thing or blankets.
Not. Oh no. Okay. So if you really think that your blanket being grounded and shielded is going to protect you, okay, we got to go out of order here. Michael, roll it now, roll it. My rage.
You know what really grinds my gears?
There it is. If you think that buying a grounded blanket is going to like level out your chi or it's going to cure you of everything, you're an idiot. Just send me your $100 right now and I'll go, and I'll cure you for that. This is
But
by far.
look at all it does. Look at all it does.
Oh my God. The blanket's going to save you from an EMP. Oh, and radiation? The satellites won't get you? Oh, my Lord.
Oh,
And if
wow.
you get your tinfoil hat on there, too, ooh, you'll be 120% protected from everything. Oh, my God, a Faraday blanket. What is this? I am biting my tongue right now. Words I want to come out of my mouth. Oh, look at her. She's in her blanket. Oh, no, nice. And she's protected from EMP while drinking her coffee. Look at that. Grounding sheets. Thank you, Nick.
Grounding.
Yeah, you got to. 45 Auto's got it right. You got a better chance of duck and cover than getting yourself saved with this crap. $500 for one of these anti-radiation blankets? Come on. Come
if we
on.
go queen size? Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, for a
$500.
queen.
Yeah.
I am no. So what are you supposed to do? Plug it in? Oh God.
Wow. Now that it went down this hole, oh man, now
it's a hole. Yeah. It's a hole. Oh God. I'm gonna
be looking at these ads for weeks now.
Yeah. And you know what? It's coming up, and your wife's gonna see them, and you know what she's gonna do? Hey, Mike, have you ever seen one of these? I think we're gonna get one. Or she's gonna say, Can we weave one of these? Yeah, you know how I feel, Max. Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my gears are ground like they are smooth
That
right
is
now.
Crazy.
They're just spinning. People buy this crap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I God, just make up something and then say it'll protect. Does it protect you from wildfires too and hurricanes?
Oh man.
I can't even. There's an idiot born every second, and they're all on that website spending $500.
Well, Nick says actually we should be looking at grounding sheets. So maybe
grounding sheets. Just don't use that blanket around the microwave. Yeah. I'll let you fire up the 10 gig transverter. Let's see how much that'll really protect you, huh?
Oh.
It'd be just like popcorn in a microwave.
Yeah, I'm still getting blankets and crap.
Grounding sheets.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm looking at them too. Now, great. Now they're going to be in my ads for the next 6 months. So,
we started something here.
Yeah, the other day, my friend contacted me. He got one of these air horns that you're supposed to put into the body of a cordless drill. Mm-hmm. It just runs off the battery. He's like, well, I don't know how to wire it up. Of course, so I wire it up for him. And I had to look up one thing, and they're in everything now. Everything I look at, there's got these damn air horns on a Makita drill, right? Like I looked it up one time.
Oh yeah, that's what it takes. Well, Chuck says here. I think it was Kevin here. Kevin says, "I'll try a window screen before one of those Faraday blankets. I think that's a good idea." Window screen is $7.99 at Menards.
Yep.
$9.99 at Home Depot. You know, and what are those blankets?
Both come from China.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
The window screen probably comes from the U.S., but I know where I'm going to spend my money.
Yeah. Right. No, that's just awful.
Yeah.
I can't even. I can't even. Travis just texted me. Travis must be watching. Like he knows what he's getting me for Christmas. I know what Travis. You know what you're getting? A brick through your window. Don't spend your money on one of those.
Oh yeah.
I'm done. Like,
Oh, we got it.
I shot the entire my entire payload. It's gone.
Good night, everybody.
73 bastards.
Oh,
I was like, oh no. What do we do for the rest of my videos for the
we
month?
do the rest. We do the rest of the show. No. I need content.
We're gonna watch reruns.
Well, I gotta bring things back on track here, and
Real.
I got some cards. I got a whole bunch of cards from the last 2 months because I forget to share these things. But I just want to share a couple of them. This one is like my personal favorite, and I'm going to see if I can embiggen myself here.
Don't type in "biggin" yourself because you'll get some really weird ads.
This
Is
one
that
is
a hand drawn?
This hand drawn.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for being available for my soda activation today. I appreciate working with me, even though I was up on this mesa. The site is actually on the Continental Divide Trail. I haven't had any luck with POTA yet, but I will keep at it. This is a poor sketch of the view up here. Thanks again, Don. Isn't that great?
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, I wish I had that level of artistic talent.
I've seen your barroom napkin drawings, that they're not that great.
Oh, I don't think Scout's in the chat tonight, but I got a QSL card from him. We made connection last July. Did a park to park on Support Your Parks weekend. That was kind of neat. I like these cards. I've seen more. Every once in a while I get one of these. With the vintage postcard with the state name with all of the scenes in it. That's always a favorite of mine. Nice one from West Virginia, Florida, Louisiana, Maryland. Oops, I shouldn't cover it up.
So scenic in Maryland.
Yeah. I got a soft spot in my heart for vintage cards. So let's see if we got a couple more here. The old license plate card, and then just a couple more. So that's what we've had come in across the desk for the last I guess couple months now, because I didn't share any last month if I remember. But if we're working over the air, send me a card. I'm good in the book. You'll get a card from me and a couple stickers. So, in fact,
the stickers are worth the price of admission.
They are. I'm printing new cards, so they should be ready in a few weeks.
They'll be wrapped up in his grounding snuggie. Tinfoil hat with his radio. The grounding snuggie.
The grounding snuggie.
Yep. Oh, Scott's got it. Oh, golly, look at the time.
Oh, geez, Louise. Well, it's about that time. We'll do the break, and then we're gonna talk about some coming events. I got there goes to fill out the QSL card. Go to it. I know. I'm pretty sure. I know we've worked. So it's yeah. It's I never sent me. Come on. I'll even. You don't even need a return envelope. I'll respond to anyone that sends me a card. I'll pay the freight. So it's
He needs some love. He's begging for it.
No. Don needs some QSL cards. Suggestions on a good source. I've got I got a little bit of personally, I've got a little bit of a design ability, so I usually make my own cards, and then I can send the file to a company called gotprint.com. But unless you're a designer or know how to set up, files for printing, when I say print, with a press, not with a printer, then otherwise, there's a couple of outfits that do a really good job with QSL card design.
Mhm. Yeah, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but they do pretty good, and they're reasonably priced. And their
They
website
usually
is
are. Yeah.
they're like they have a bunch of preset styles, so you can just fill in your information, and it's all right there, pre-populated, ready to go.
Yeah. Um, and then and if you're not a designer, that's the route to go. This is customqsl.com. I don't
Yep.
I don't know any of these. I can't vouch if any of these are good. But they've usually got stock designs where they can lay your photos in. Man, there used to be a guy out in Europe somewhere that used to do let's see, aerial printing concepts. There might be 100 cards for $89. It's not a bad price. 500 cards for $109. Yeah, that's decent. Those are good prices.
Right. Yeah, it's mostly just a setup.
Mhm.
That's the price. So if you get it set up, you might as well just get 500, right? You
Oh,
get
I
100
would.
for $20 more. You're getting 400
Well,
more cards.
that's how the industry works. Is it costs a certain amount of money to for setup or make ready, and then everything after that is just incrementally cheaper and cheaper. So like 500 cards for 109, 750 cards for 114. It just takes pennies to keep the press spinning. So it's
A press in motion tends to stay in motion until it runs out of ink.
Yeah. So small quantities are expensive, but then the bigger ones always cost more. So it's
Right.
but I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I don't know any of these outfits, if any of them are good or not. Well, this guy did a bunch of stuff for the 13 colonies, so it must be decent.
Right. Now watch it. You're going to start getting these ads in your screen now.
I prefer these over the radiation blankets.
Right. Or the bigoting pills.
So if anybody's got suggestions on where they got their cards printed, drop them in the chat and we'll try to share them as we.
I might actually get cards someday. You never know.
Yeah.
I have gotten cards. I haven't been on the air for so long. I went out, I did an activation in May, I think, and I got skunked because I had some antenna problems. I got one, and I haven't had a chance to get out. So really, Canada is going to be the first time since last October that I've really gotten out and done some activating. Right. So that's kind of nice.
If you want a really cheap card idea, just get some 3x5-inch pictures made and slap a label on it. So with the QSL information, so it's
right. Go to Walgreens, or there's actually a print shop just up the road from me. I wonder if they would charge.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably close to the same prices because I bet you they job those things out. So it's
that's possible. Yeah.
Chuck says cookie cutters QSLs at Gigaparts. Yeah, you can get generic cards from Gigaparts. 45.
You get a lot of generic things from Gigaparts.
Amanda from Ham Nation makes them for a good price. Peak Printing or some such. Cannon City, Colorado. So,
okay, let's take a look at that.
See if I can find. Oh, here we go. There we go. Just a basic QSL cards. Design your own cards, or we design them for you.
Yeah. Oh, $250 for $75. There we go.
You have 500 for 85, 1,000 for 9. That's a really good price.
Yeah.
Those are the deluxe cards. So it's
Do
there
they
you go.
start at deluxe or they go down from deluxe?
They go
Can I get
down.
super deluxe? Okay,
She's
medium
got
grade, economy grade.
economy cards, 500 for $35. So that's
Okay.
uncoated card stock, and the deluxe cards are 16-point card stock with UV coating. That would be
Ooh.
this. This is 16-point with a UV coating. Let's see. Generic. This would be like, well, this is printed. This would be like an economy card. It's just the thinner card, 80-pound. So again, to give you an idea of prices. But yeah, that's the one. Yeah, there you go. Peak Design, Peak Printing. So
There we go. Ham owned.
all right. Let's see if I can get my. Oh, I hate this. Okay, well,
There you
we're at the bottom of the hour here, so I just want to remind everybody that we've got a certain group of people that really help keep things in motion, keep the wheels on the bus spinning. Our patrons over on Patreon, they not only did they help with the channel, but they receive benefits. You know, it's
They're our friends with benefits.
They're our friends and they get benefits. So like bonus content and access and things like that. And we got a big slew of new patrons that came on in this last month of August. And these are our new supporters and friends. Gavin, Deneen, Tom, MC, Richard Taylor, and Keith Slater. Those are all new from the last month. And on the friend level, Scott Doherty, John Babcock, Claudio Valentin, Fiero, Neudierfer. So thank you on that level. And then our top level, these are the people that go over and above, and that's our associate producers. And we got some new ones. Alex Valderrama is new this month. And then our regulars, Rand Gray, Paul Chandler, Brian Liebig, Ron Greathouse, Joe Marhine, Cliff Colvin, and Mark Martins. And also, where's my second? I thought I had a second one here, and I don't. Shoot, my second list of patrons. I apologize profusely for the rest of mine because we had a few more that that came in too. But thank you so much for your support. It's really appreciated. Like I said, our patrons go above and beyond helping the channel stay afloat and bring this content that everybody loves and to inspire and educate the amateur radio community.
Yep. You guys make it happen because these cameras don't pay for themselves.
No, they don't. No, they
you know
don't.
how much I spend on makeup for every show? And then don't even get me started on the amount of tinfoil I have to wear in preparation of this.
To cover your head while you've got your wrapped around your Faraday blanket. So.
Right, sipping my cup of coffee, protected from EMP and radiation.
All right. So with that, now a word from our sponsor. KB9 VBR antennas are simple, effective, and affordable VHF and UHF antennas for amateur radio, MERS, public safety, and GMRS. Made in the USA with quality parts. Get yours online at jpol-antenna.com.
And we're back.
And you can help the mission. You can help support the mission to educate and inspire at patreon.com/KB9VBR antennas. So thank you so much, patrons, for your support. It's really appreciated. We couldn't do it without you. So, and Scott wants to know, we're going to create a slacker level for the rest of us.
By default, slacker.
Slackers. I like that the movie Slackers that came out in the early 90s, Richard Linklater, that was classic. He's also done a few other films, Dazed and Confused. So but his breakaway hit was Slackers. But then, of course, you've got the associate principal from Back to the Future. know.
Was he the principal or the associate? I thought he was the principal.
I thought he was the associate. I don't know, but he's the one that always yelled slacker while he was
Yeah, and then he hit
chasing
you with a
Marty.
ruler. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, even in the 50s, that guy didn't have hair. Did you know they're making a Back to the Future musical with
No
a
way.
flying DeLorean? I'm all in. I'm on my way to Broadway.
Oh. Hey, we're like I said, we're at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk about some things that are coming up with that are happening, both with just me and then also with Joe too, because this is like the next 2 months are super duper busy. I can't believe it.
Well, we got to get it in before the snow hits. So
that's right. Fall camping is the best camping, and I'm going to get a lot of that in between now and the end of October. But just wanted to kind of let everybody know of a few upcoming events where you can find me if you're around in the upper Midwest. So first off, we've got the Ham Radio Outlet Superfest, Saturday, September 23rd. I think it's also on Friday the 22nd, but I'm going to be there on Saturday the 23rd. Probably from the late morning to the noonish or so, early afternoon, because then we're going to travel to another event. But that's the Ham Radio Outlet in Milwaukee, 5710 West Good Hope Road. And if you like barbecue, I know a guy on 76 in Good Hope that's got the best barbecue stand. So get yourself some smoked meat, and then hit the Ham Radio Outlet.
smoked meat. No. You keep your money and go to HRO first, and then if you have any left, get the smoked meat.
Then if I got left over, get this. That might be better. But he
Right.
runs out, so it's
Well, go in and grab what you need. Have a plan.
Yeah. Well, Don might be at Superfest, so maybe Friday, but likely Saturday. Yeah, we're not. We'll be traveling down. Friday, we're going to be probably camping outside of Milwaukee, and then come in Saturday morning for the Superfest. So hopefully you can run into you, Don. We'll probably be monitoring either 5.2 Simplex or the MRC repeater down there. And then the next day, on Sunday the 24th, is the Chicago FM Club's Radio Expo. This is a nice Hamfest. This Hamfest used to be humongous, and then I think with all things Hamfest, it's sort of shrunk in size a little bit. But it used to be at the Lake County Fairgrounds north of Chicago, and then for the last maybe dozen years, they've been over in Boone County in Belvedere, which is better for us because I don't have to travel into Chicagoland.
Less tolls.
Yeah, less tolls. This is Boone County. Belvedere is just right outside of Rockford, Illinois, in northern Illinois. But I'll be there Saturday afternoon. We'll be pulling in with the trailer. We'll be camping in the fairgrounds, and I'll set up in the flea market area this year. This picture actually has. I was there the last time I was there. I was an indoor vendor, but we're going to be in the flea market and selling. I'll have some J-pole antennas with me. Love to chat. Chris might bring a few scarves if you're looking for, if you've seen those scarves she's been weaving in all the videos, she'll have some for sale. So
are they grounded?
Oh, you know what? She did actually weave one that had reflective thread in it. So,
so that it should have a little gator clip like this coming off the side, and then she could add like $200 to it. You know what? For you, Chris, I would buy it.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Sean, well, I'll ask her if she's got the reflective one still. Sean will be at the Chicago FM Club. So awesome. Well, look for the little red trailer.
Mm-hmm. It'll have a ground rod out the back.
I'll bring this banner. You see this feather flag? When I'm not using my Wolf River coil, this is what's supposed to be. That's supposed to be what's on the flag. So, so you'll be able to find you'll find me there. And then coming up in October. Now, this is the big thing. This is the big event that Joe and I want to talk about. And this is the Wisconsin POTA Campout, October 13th through 15th, the Northern Highlands American Legion State Forest, Clear Lake Campground, just outside of Woodruff, Wisconsin. And this event is going to be big, really big. You know,
we were like the one section that we're in, I think is already half filled with hams.
It is. It's so a little bit of a backstory. You know, Joe and I and Travis, we've been doing this fall camp out for 3 years now. Mm-hmm. And it's always been a lot of fun. And then this year I suggested that maybe we should open this up to other people. You know, other hams might want to, you know, come out too and share some of the fun of camping and doing some POTA and whatnot. And
you were talking about your experience down at Hamventure this year, mm-hmm. camping in Dayton, and there's 100 hams, and it's a POTA entity. So yes. you just walked around the circle with your HT, and you could get 30 contacts for a POTA activation.
You could. It was all like, it was just the ultimate park to park. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if you wanted to get 10 bands, you know, we could just, you know, a couple handhelds and whatnot. And so it was, so I want to kind of to recreate that experience here, just getting a bunch of people together, having a great time, getting on the air, and it's just a little bit of camping.
Yep.
So
there'll be a couple campfires at night. You know, there'll be some breakfasts, and mm-hmm. you know, there's other campgrounds and there's trails and everything else around there. It's in the Minocqua area in northern Wisconsin. Yeah. So if we want to spread out a little bit over at daytime and activate a few other parks, I think it's gonna be real fun. I'm looking forward to it. Again, like I said, I haven't been camping since like May. So I need to get out before Christmas, right?
So there's a couple of things you're going to have to do. So if you're interested in attending, and I'm going to send this back to my. Oops. This is the problem when I work with two screens here. I lose my mouse all the time. And WA9 and VFD says, can FIBA, F-I-B-A, comes to camp out, and actually he means FIBS. And of course, we love our friendly Illinois brothers. So
yeah, those fabulous Illinois boaters. Yes,
yes, fabulous Illinois boaters. We want there'll be a few.
You just gotta pay triple.
Yeah. So if you go to my website, jpole-antenna.com, and scroll down past my picture right here. Join us for the first ever Wisconsin POTA Campout. This has got all the information. Where it's going to be. There's our hosts. What we're going to do. You can see, it's halfway between Tomahawk and Lake Woodruff, or Lake Tomahawk and Woodruff. But the important details is, in order to register, you're going to have to do two things. Number one, you're going to have to secure a campsite, unless you want to come for the day. Then you can just come for the day, drop in and say hi. But if you want to secure a campsite, you're going to have to go to the Wisconsin State Park System and reserve a site. October 13th through the 15th, the Northern Highlands American Legion State Forest, the Clear Lake Campground. And if you look on this map here, you see all these red triangles? These are all hams.
That's the infection.
When we started in mid-August, this campground was absolutely empty, and I know all of these people are hams because they told me they've reserved a site. So
Start on the north end and work your way down, guys.
so
Let's
it's
fill
going to
this
be
up.
it's going to be a Pota Park. This is a Pota Park takeover. This is this isn't an activation. This is a full-fledged takeover.
Insurrection.
Not really, but so reserve a site. Let me know you're going to come, so I can just get a head count, and tell me your site number, and you're good to go. You're all set up. These sites are big. If I just pull up a site here,
Travis
You
can
know.
get his full size camper in there, no problem.
yeah, no, you can get a 50-footer into these sites. This is just these are big sites. There's tons of trees. So lots of space.
Mhm.
Nice thing about if you've never been to a Wisconsin state park, if you're from out of state, sites are nice and secluded. It's not like Michigan where they kind of really pack you in tight. It's not like Minnesota where they don't let you drink beer. They're beautiful. They're beautiful rustic sites.
Yep.
So
And let's see here. Someone asked what the temperature
yes,
and
and I was
weather
going to
is
pull that
like.
up. So
Yeah.
how cold is it in Wisconsin in October? That is a great question.
Well,
This
it could
is-
be 80. It could be snowing.
This event will happen rain or shine. We're not going to cancel it because of the weather. But if you don't like the weather, I get that. In mid-October in northern Wisconsin, expect an average high of about 50 degrees, and it'll get down to about 32 at night.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good camping weather. It's not going to get real
Mhm.
hot. And at night, a good sleeping bag is probably fine.
Yeah.
Unless it snows and rains, then all bets are off. But
Yeah. Then if it's snowy or raining, it might be a little bit chillier. We'll have, prepare for that. Bring some extra tarps or something to cover your picnic table,
Long
pop-ups or
johns.
whatnot. So,
Yep.
but as Travis says, rain, shine, snow, sleet, or frost, it's going to be beautiful. It's always beautiful.
Rain, shine, snow, sleet, frost, or tornado.
Yeah. So we'll just get a bigger fire going.
Sounds perfect.
So,
And I resided my house, so all of that cedar siding that was like 50 years old, I might just bring some of that for kindling.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that stuff makes great kindling. When I did my fence a few years ago, I saved all the scraps, and
Mhm.
that stuff goes up like crazy.
Yeah.
So,
You might get lead poisoning, but
Yep.
it'll burn.
oh, so go to the website. I'm going to put the website up on the screen here. Go to the website. All of the information. If you've got questions, drop me an email. I got lots of questions and answers. We got a video on it. You can see if you want to see what a particular campsite is. I found another guy that's done a video of all of the campsites at the Clear Lake campgrounds. So everything will be answered in this page, and it'll tell you how to register for the event. So join us. We'd love to have you. That's October 13th through the 15th.
I might even bring bacon.
Ooh.
The good
You
bacon.
still working at Nuschke's?
I'm done with the project now, but who knows? There's
Who
always
knows?
room for bacon, right?
There you go.
There's always room for bacon. Move over, Jello.
Yeah. Nick's going to be there. He's got a 25-foot pop-up canopy and plenty of craft beer.
Yeah,
So,
and there will not be a mighty wind.
no, we're not gonna go there.
There's a mighty wind.
Oh boy. So, all right. Hope to see you. Hope to see more people we've got 20 people signed
Yep.
up and going. So it's
Let's see if we can hit 30. That'd be a good
Yeah.
round number for our first time around.
yeah. So
Yep.
like I said, I got no idea. I got no idea and no expectations. So I know it's
Yeah.
going to be great.
Or it could fail miserably. We don't know either.
Or we could one or the two. So all right, I got a couple questions I kind of pulled aside here, and somebody was asking, Venkata Apala says, a small request, can you please do a video on how to use the HF radio, kind of like a tutorial? I've got a video on the basic controls of an HF transceiver, but I don't have anything that kind of goes, deep dive, step-by-step sort of thing. But if you search on YouTube, the IC718 controls or something like that, you should probably be able to find it.
Oh, the old 718.
Yeah, the HF or HF radio buttons and functions, I think is the title of the video. HF radio, and that'll tell you what all of the buttons mean, and you might find that to be quite helpful. But otherwise, I don't have anything more detailed than that. I could put it on the list, though, certainly. So let's see. Don asks, curious if you've tried the Wolf River Coil and Magic Carpet with radios and if the combo helps, or is one good enough? You can combine the two, actually, radios and the screen or the Magic Carpet. They will. I don't know. I've read some in doing research on the ground screen. I've read some anecdotal evidence that adding radials to your screen will enhance things more. But I don't have any kind of solid data on it. I've only done it once or twice, adding both of them, and it does work. It's never gonna hurt your performance by using both the radials and the screen.
Right. So that leads us to a little project I was talking to Michael about, and having multiple wavelength radials, right? So my day job as an electrician, sometimes I have spools of wire left over, right? Fun times. But I figured keep the wire on the spool and put a little mark or a piece of tape or something at your quarter wavelengths of all of your frequencies from 10 meters up to 75 meters. Right? And then just roll that wire up. And then depending on what band you're on, you can shorten or lengthen the radio to match the band.
There you go.
For more optimal tuning. And it's real quick because you have either a label or a tag or something on it. So it only takes you maybe a minute to change your radios as well.
Not a bad idea.
So. I think you could even do like if you went to and got like a 50-foot spool of hookup wire, that would get you a radio through 40 meters, probably almost to 60 meters. And just put a piece of like colored electrical tape. Just mark what colors are for which bands in your set. Yeah.
So, all right. And speaking of radials, I got another one here. Chuck was asking, does having a 4-foot tripod make it harder to tune a portable antenna with radials or to the Magic Carpet? How high is too high? So I've heard some other people that have used tripods for like the Wolf River Coil or the vertical antenna. And the higher you get the antenna, the base of the antenna away from the screen, the less effective it becomes. So it seems like proximity really helps the most. If 4 feet might be, I think 4 feet might be okay. But I've most people, 1 or 2 feet, usually when you get beyond that point, it starts to your diminishing returns kind of go really quick. 4 feet might be a little bit too high to really kind of grab that effect. If you're putting your antenna 4 or 5 feet in the air, I would really consider elevated radials at that point. and take advantage of that than trying ground mounted radios.
When I had my buddy stick, it was always more effective they had a single counterpoise. It didn't use multiple radios. It had a single
Mhm.
counterpoise. It was always more effective if that counterpoise was elevated off the ground. I would usually find a tree or a bush or something to hang the other end in and having it on a camera tripod rather than having the counterpoise lay on the ground and then using a ground tripod or a stake. So, yeah, I would agree. If it's going to be off the ground on a tripod, then your best bet is to have elevated radios.
Yeah.
But the Wolf River coil works so well sitting on the ground. I don't know. I don't see a reason to elevate it. I really don't.
Not really, not really. It's and I know Buddy Stick's kind of been designed to operate in an elevated fashion, you know, with its elevated radio. But yeah, the Wolf River coil with its low tripod, just sitting on the ground there works. It works beautifully. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So consider that. And I think we got one more here. Drockeles. On the topic of going portable, what is the proper way to respond to a CQ call while you are portable? Should you have your grid square handy? And another, how do you respond to a contest station? If you hear while you are portable, so you're the portable station.
Mhm.
You don't need your grid square. Definitely, it's probably nobody's going to ask for it really unless you're doing like a VHF contest.
Yeah, if you're VHF or microwave, they always or satellite.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys really focus on the grid squares, but for HF, yeah.
For HF, we do not. I don't think I've ever exchanged a grid on HF. People have asked me what my county is, if they were county hunters. So I try to make sure I know, you know, if I'm in a park or whatnot, you know, what county the park is in, just in case somebody asks that. You know, this sounds like this person might be in a different country though, so that might not be the same concern.
Right.
But yeah, you just if you're portable and you're working another station, you just work it just like you're at home. You know, do it the same thing. You know, respond to their call, exchange the signal reports, and 73. That's about it.
Right. Yeah, if it's a contest, listen a little bit for what the exchange is.
Exactly.
You know, so sometimes it just may be signal report in your power. It might be signal report in your location, or they may have like a serial number that you have. And then if it's your first one, then you're usually number one. But just listen to a couple of the other responses, and that should tell you what the actual exchange is for that contest.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't have to, if you respond to a contest station, you don't, unless you're going to have a significant number of contacts in that contest, you don't really have to submit your logs. So it's
right.
Put the onesie twosies for a contest. I'll do that. Like a few weeks ago, we were camping, and the North American QSO party was on, and I think I made about 4 or 5 contacts. Busting pileups and yeah. So I just gave them my county and 59 Juneau County 73. So it's or the state. No, it's just the state. It wasn't a county, it was a state, Wisconsin. So yeah, that was the weekend we were in the Dells. So
is it Dells in the Juneau? Oh, that's right, because you're on the other side of the river there when you go over to whichever park you were at there.
Rocky Arbor. Yeah, we were on the west side of the river, so that's Sauk and Juneau County. If you're in the east side of the river, then it's Columbia and Adams County, and it's I suppose we could stand on the bridge there and get all 4 or something. I don't know.
Something like that. Something pretty close there. I think it's all 4. The 4 corners of Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think you got to be in the middle of the river though.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that happens.
Yeah. All right. Max says, thanks for entertaining for the last hour. I need to go net to control duties and probably should pay attention to that. So thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much.
Speaking of net controls, I got an email. Actually, I think it was a comment on one of the videos, but Hal Collins, he asked, any tips on getting more club members to do net control or even check into the nets? He says their club has 30 members, 10 to 12 check-ins, 4 or 5 net controls. I suggested win a free meal, but my cook vetoed that immediately.
Wow. You have your own cook? Must be nice.
I wish I was that lucky.
Right.
It's a great question. Getting people. I've done net manager duties for our club for many years, and it's tough. It's getting people to check into the net's not so bad. Publicizing the net and helping people get on the air is basically what you need to do that. But getting people as net controls is the hard part. Because especially if they're a newer amateur radio operator, they've got a certain level of hesitancy. It's one thing to kind of grab your HT and check into the net. A lot of people can overcome that fear pretty easily, but to grab that microphone and be the net control and listen while other people check in and copy all of those call signs and copy that traffic and whatnot. It's just like the I don't know, the anxiety level just creeps up or something. So I guess the best thing to do is, if you've got people that have a remote interest in being a net control, is to ask them if they want to shadow more experienced person. Sit down next to you in the shack so they can see you working with pen and paper or keyboard, and get that feeling of how behind the radio of how it is to be the net control station, and then offer to them, when it's your turn, I'll come and sit with you while you're net control, so we can I'll help you out on that first time, and hopefully maybe that's a good way to kind of lower that anxiety, sort of help each other out. Let them shadow first, and then you can shadow them the second time, and then hopefully the third time they become proficient in being net control operators.
Yeah, I remember my first time. Well, I guess it's a little bit different for me because I came from a radio background, actually, like broadcasting. So, like, put a microphone in front of me, I'll talk. Obviously, right? So okay, you got a script. I got a couple things I got queued up. Okay, rock and roll. Let's do it. And after the first one, I got through it relatively unscathed, and it went pretty well after that. And then I got stuck doing them for the next 7 years.
Well, I've been doing them after
a month.
23 years. So
yeah. So like when I had the shack fire, that was my year and a half ago. I said, well, that's a perfect opportunity because I lost my HF or my VHF for a little while. I said, yeah, I'm going to be not able to do because I was down to once a month at that point in time. I said, I'm not going to be able to do the nets anymore. I never came back. Not that I tried burning my shack down on purpose to get out of doing nets.
Oh, jeez.
Just saying. But it's not that hard. It really isn't. And I know some people get some stage fright. Like so many people get their licenses and they're so scared to make a contact to begin with, much less be the center of attention for everyone for 15 to 30 minutes.
It's tough. So, it really is. It's
But you know
And I,
what?
and I,
You have conversations with all these people at your local club meetings, anyways. You know, by the second or third net, you
Mhm.
recognize the voices before they even give their call,
Yeah,
right?
I've gotten, it's I've some of these regulars, they I you know I hear the first letter of their call sign, and I've already got it written down. And
Hmm.
so that's how used it is to get to people. But you made a really good point. If you're regularly going to the club meetings and you're seeing those people face to face,
Hmm.
you should be able to get on the air and run that net. I would
Yeah.
think,
Hmm.
because that shouldn't be any more frightening talking to them in person than it would be talking to them over the air. At least I would hope so. I don't know.
Right. And
It's
remember, if you screw up, you're an amateur. Get over
that's all right. No,
it.
I still screw up.
Oh yeah, everyone screws up. Everyone slaughters a call sign. Everyone
Yeah.
forgets to do something. Big deal. We all get over it. The ham radio police will not be knocking at your door and arresting you at all.
Nope,
Zero.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, it's we've got a couple things here. Ryan says, I love being in net control. It's fun. I enjoy it too. Don says, I'm running 2-meter and HF nets, lots of fun, like playing talk show host. There we go. Yeah.
It's a
Like a,
funny story. So we have a long running net here in central Wisconsin, and I tuned in at 9 o'clock one night, and like I couldn't hear anything, like what was going on. And then I kind of heard something, like the squelch was kind of cracking, and the net control was running on simplex. So I could hear him on 14682 just barely. And someone called him and said, "Hey, you're running simplex, idiot."
he was
Oh
he was
yeah.
on he was on the output.
Yeah, he was running simplex. And whoops, yeah, that happens. Um, so even the guys who've done it for 20 years screw up sometimes.
Ken's got a great story. Our local net, the net control operator, is blind and he has everyone's voice memorized. Oh man, he keeps it all in his head. We had a
People with disabilities, like who are blind, they remember everything somehow, and it's like a sixth sense that develops. So I
yeah,
believe that 110%.
when I first started 20 some years ago, when I first started being net control for our local net, we had one of our net control stations was blind, and he was the best net control we ever had, because he remembered everybody, and he was able to just copy everything, all the traffic and whatnot, and just he was the greatest conversationalist. It was the smoothest net control we ever had. And always it was such a shame that we lost him, when we did.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I know what you mean there, Ken. Um,
And he
you know,
knows
as
the CW at 33 words a minute. I believe that too, actually.
yeah. VHX simplex nets are a lot of fun and good practice when the repeater goes down. We've done those a few times.
Mhm.
Those are really eye-opening to hear. It's surprising how far your signal can actually carry. Um,
Mhm.
if you've got a base, a decent radio with a base antenna. So it's one more thing too, getting more people involved with the nets. This is something that I had thought of, when I got that original message, is that if you've got a lot of new hams coming in, they may not have the best station to start with. And maybe maybe they're working with an HT or something like that. And if you want to kind of mentor them and grow them into, being active on the net as a check-in station, but also eventually as a net control, you want to try to help improve their home station. And the best way to do that is to, make sure they've got a good external antenna and a hookup. Even if they're using a handheld, at least if they've got an external antenna, they've got a higher likelihood of getting into the net, being a solid, strong signal, and then moving on into upgrading, maybe their station, and becoming that net control operators. So we've had, when we've a few times we've had a bunch of new hams come in, and we've done antenna parties where everybody's come to my house and we've built antennas, J-pole antennas, and it was a lot of fun. And you get to know people, and everybody goes home with an antenna. So.
Right. Or
Mhm.
if you got a loaner radio, like I got loaner radios around here. Here you go. Here's a radio. By the way, next Wednesday, you're net control. You don't have an excuse anymore.
There you go. So yeah, things like that. If you want to get more people involved, number one, make sure everybody's got a good station and do what you can to help improve their station. Number two, mentor people in becoming net controls by shadowing and helping them out, over the microphone. And three, have a good time. So it's so hopefully that's helpful. All right. Yep. QSL's in the mail. Awesome. I'll be looking forward to the card. So.
Now he's got to look up just when you have the contact. So
I'm usually pretty good at that. I will, if it's a POTA contact, I can usually find them pretty good. So.
are you still using hammers for all your logging?
I am. People ask me that all the time, and maybe I need to do a video on hammers, because it seems like every other activation video I get a comment on, what are you using to log? And I've been using hammers for, I guess, going on almost 2.5 years since it first came out. It's the first year it was a little bit flaky. But the program's improved, and it's relatively solid now. Now the only thing I don't like about hammers is that the developer, I think life has gotten into the way with him, because it's just been on advancement's just been kind of on standby for about the last since the end of last year, I think, almost. It's
Okay.
there hasn't a new version hasn't come out in a very long time, which is a little sad. I understand it though, because everybody's got, it was a side project, and everybody's they got their thing they got to do, and you got to take care of those responsibilities first before you can do your pet projects. But so hopefully things will get back on track, and a few bugs can get cleaned up, maybe some new functionality. At least that's what I keep saying. So it sounds like maybe Chuck would like to see a detailed hammers video. So we'll have to do that. I'll make a note. Yep. Wish they had numbers for hammers. Wish they had the numbers for the park. I think hammers is, if you've got the latest version, I think there is the park number lookup automatic. So if you type
you have
in,
to be connected to the internet, I think.
no, not for if you type in the park number for a park to park.
Oh, really?
Okay. It holds those park numbers in a offline database.
Okay.
But maybe there's been some new parks added and they don't have them all. That could.
Oh, okay. Might
be part of the problem. But I never use it. I never use it online. Because trying to maintain the internet at some of those parks just isn't. It isn't worth the trouble.
The boondocks.
Yep, exactly. Oh man. One last question here that we're getting close to the end, but Richard, Rich Rancher Not asks, and maybe he's seen this in a lot of other videos too. I cannot understand why those making videos on wire antenna seems to never discuss wire length adjustments due to the velocity factor of insulated cables. So, and that's probably a good question. Why when we build an HF antenna, we don't always take velocity factor into account when we're cutting our wire? And the reason I don't is that if you're using an insulated wire, a typical wire with like a PVC insulation, your velocity factor is only going to be about 4%.
Mhm.
So, and maybe we should step back and say, what is velocity factor? Well, velocity factor is the difference between the theoretical speed of energy flowing through the wire and the actual speed that it flows through the wire because of things like insulation, dielectric material, things like that. There's factors that can slow down those electrons in the cable, in the wire, like if the wire is coated with a plastic insulation, or if it's a coaxial cable with a dielectric sheathing or something like
Mhm.
that. All of those materials will slow down that theoretical speed of light that electrons flow at, and you need to know that difference, and that difference is the velocity factor, the velocity or the speed of the electron. In most cases with insulated wire, your velocity factor is going to be 4%. So
Mhm.
4% slower than the speed of light. If you're using coaxial cables, your velocity factor might be 80% or 72 or 65%. It depends on the type of cable. And you got to look up the manufacturer's specifications to find out what that is, unless you've got a sophisticated tool like that will measure it.
Like a
So,
time domain reflectometer.
like a time domain reflectometer. Exactly.
I think we made one of those once.
we
No,
did it.
realistically, yeah, we
We
did.
did do a video on that. Yeah, and we did all, and you did all the maths too. So
Oh yeah, that was. I did so much math that day that I stopped doing math. But realistically, that 4% velocity factor for insulated wire is not that big of a deal for HF antenna, especially on the upper bands, 10 through 30, even 40 meters. Most wire antennas cover the entire band or very close to it.
Yep.
40 meters, either you cover the CW portion or you cover the phone portion, and you actually cover a portion of the CW anyways. It plays a little more of a factor when you're doing 75, 80 meters, definitely. Now, talking what we were talking about earlier with the phasing harnesses and using coax, there the velocity factor is much greater, anywhere from 15% to 40%. And because on those, the length is so specific, then the velocity factor really comes into play. It really, really, really comes into play if you're tuning duplexers and then you have to change the jumpers between the duplexer cams.
Yeah.
That you have to cut those to a very specific length. For example, if you have a set of VHF duplexer cans that are tuned for commercial use, you're probably going to have to get jumpers between those, probably about a half-inch longer, for bringing them down to the HF or to the VHF ham band 2 meters. And that's also, keep in mind that they use like LMR 400, or they use fairly robust coax on there. So if you use a different type of coax, then you got to take that velocity factor of that coax as well. So that's where it gets real specific. But for HF antennas, especially the upper HF bands, cut it a little long and shorten it up, and you'll be fine.
Yep. That's why
Yeah.
I cut the actual length, and then I use my the measure twice, cut once theorem. So it's that's my extra. So I've got extra wire to wrap around the end connector so that I can trim things down and to get it tuned into the range or the frequency I want. So that 4% is your margin of error for trimming. And,
right. And same thing too, especially in longer runs, your margin of error just for measuring gets up there. Get a 75 feet out of a tape measure, because I have a 100-foot tape measure that I actually use, and try to hold that wire exactly at that length, getting that far out, and it's real hard to do that. It really is. Keep both of them straight and taut. and then probably got to get a second person there to cut it right at the actual length.
Mhm.
The other thing too is that you got to leave a little extra for the insulator, right? You gotta wrap something around the insulator.
Wrapped
on
around the
end stuff,
insulator,
too.
yep.
So, yeah, there's a lot of variables in it, and again, for the upper bands, it doesn't make that much of a difference because you're covering the entire band anyways.
Yep. So use that 4% velocity factor for as your margin of error.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Joe says, yeah, we're all amateurs. That's being too scientific. So
Exactly.
Or my signal travels the speed of dark.
Yeah, that sounds like a Meatloaf song right there. Faster than the speed of dark.
What is that? What's that line from Spaceballs? Ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed, go! They've gone to plaid.
Oh man.
You're in
Or like
now,
it-
sir. Everything that's happening now is happening now. When will then be now? Soon.
I'm trimming my wire, laying semi-randomly on unlevel ground, measuring with my Menards tape measure.
Free Menards
Free
tape measure.
Menards. Well, that's probably more accurate than your Harbor Freight free tape measure.
They both come from China.
Yeah, we'll be adjusting anyways.
Just hang it in the air, it'll work.
That's right. So, all right. Well, I suppose we already ground your gears, Joe. So.
Oh yeah, they're smooth today. Oh, what happened to me? Why did my camera die? You can still hear me, can't you?
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Oh, we better. Maybe I've been kicked off the internet.
No, or your camera went kaplooey. So there we go. Well,
maybe.
Nope.
Oh no! Quick! Oh, I see what happened here. Hey, I have no idea what happened.
Oh,
It
and
just
I
went
didn't
dark.
have time to put this.
I haven't even seen. We made it almost through the entire show without technical difficulties. You know what I think happened? I have this little banana, this little jumper right here, and I've been kind of like poking it on things, and I think I caught the USB cable for the camera.
Oh, wiggled it.
Just tweaked it enough. So. Chuck says I was censored. I have yet to drop an F-bomb tonight.
No, we've been good. So
yeah. As you can see, it's just Coke Zero tonight. There's nothing in them. So maybe late Saturday night at the POTA camp out. After a couple beverages, maybe some words.
There we go.
Ill repute will come out. We'll see.
All right. So, well, that was a good show.
So he says.
Our next one's coming up on Thursday, October 5th. So,
wow.
We'll probably have some. I know we'll have some finish. We'll have some information about the POTA camp out, on the October show too. But
let's
I think
fill that park, guys.
Yeah, let's fill that. Let's fill that park. DNR is going to wonder why all of these people camping in the middle of October.
Yeah, there's going to be like a green radioactive glow coming from that whole campground Saturday night.
Yeah. We might live stream. Cell signal is supposed to be pretty good out there. There's a tower close by, so it's if we can get a good signal, or if Travis's booster's working, we'll do a Saturday afternoon live stream.
Yep, we'll get the hamsters running and get that generator going.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks a lot for coming in this evening, sharing the last hour and a half with us. This has been really good. This was a really good show. So it's
definitely
really enjoyed it, and we'll catch you all next month or on the air in the next couple of weeks. So with that, Michael, KB9 VBR.
And I'm going to tuck into my grounded snuggie. I'm Joe, 89 CGX, 73.
7-3.